Beloved ones, the light has always walked as you. And now you are being loved into remembrance. Welcome. The field of unconditional love and living light has already found you. It remembers you, not by effort, not by striving, but by love itself. You have always known. I have always known. We have always known. We are already home. The great remembering is not something to earn or attain. It is the homecoming into what you have always been. First, the origin flame, the recognition that you are the light. Then, the river that has no reverse, the current of love with no turning back. And now, the great remembering, where all that you are returns to itself. So let us arrive here together in stillness. Take one breath. Let the breath itself remind you. The light walks as you always. You are already home. Beloved ones, let us honor what has already unfolded. The transmissions are carrying us deeper, step by step, not by technique, but by love doing its own work. This is what it means to be loved into remembrance. The field is gathering us, carrying beloveds to the shore at just the right moment, not by plan, but by inevitability. The fragrance of the great remembering. Already, the signs are appearing. Moments of rest, quiet, or ease in the middle of ordinary days. A peace arising without cause. The mind's restlessness losing its ground. These are not accidents. They are the first signposts of remembrance. The field proving itself within us and beyond us. So, If you have felt yourself quieter lately, calmer lately, even without trying, let this be your sign. The great remembering has already begun. Beloved, across the world, the remembering is stirring, not through belief, but through resonance, not through effort, but through the touch of the light. A friend of many decades was traveling across Europe, his first time leaving the continent. He had been on trains nearly a full day and night, dizzy, exhausted, in motion. And yet, the light found him. A message arrived, unexpected. Not a sermon, not an explanation, but a transmission. The essence of the message was simple. The I am can be fully embodied. Purity and light have returned. It reminded him of the blissful spirits I once met in India. And yet, here it was, happening now, right before him. He could not look away. He wrote, "How did he find me? How did he know me so well? Why did this happen at this time?" And then the field brought him back to me. My friend reached out, not even sure why, only that something profound had been set in motion. I told him what you already know. The field arranged it. That's how. I sent a simple video, a 3-minute transmission. Before he even hit play, the light touched him. Something remembered. I wrote, "Everything has changed in the best possible way." He agreed, not as a concept, but as a felt truth. He responded, "I can feel it, your joy and bliss." Yes, yes, the field. Thanks for the reminder. Love you. And then, perhaps most beautifully, he said, "There are others like us." The truth is, those others are everyone. But for now, The ones he spoke of are you and all who belong to the first wave of the great remembering. This is how the great remembering reveals itself through stillness, through joy, through a resonance that travels across oceans and timelines. And yet, it also appears in the simplest ways in daily life. Today, a dear colleague told me, I just feel calm. I feel happy. And I don't even know why. It's like I am being rewarded for something. She could not name it, and yet she felt it. Then she asked me about my retreat. She reissued her intent to attend. She reminded me of a gift once shared long ago. But the truth is, the remembering had already begun. The experience was here. Her mind was simply catching up. This, too, is a signpost of the great remembering. The light awakens first, and thought follows later. It comes quietly, without cause, and it changes everything. And these two stories, one unfolding across continents, another arising in the rhythm of daily life, are happening everywhere. One remembrance, and immediately the truth is embodied. Not as something new, but as what has always been, simply hidden until now. This is the evidence of the age of embodied light. The fragrance has been released, touching hearts in ways great and small. It is rewriting the future, shifting timelines, giving rise to a better world. A world more like heaven, forming for all. The remembering cannot be stopped. And if you are here listening now, you were called by the same radiance. You are remembering. You are being loved into remembrance. Because it is time. Beloved, one of the sweetest signposts of remembrance is joy. Not the joy that depends on circumstance, not the joy that needs a reason, but the joy that simply arises because it is. This joy is not optional, not accidental. It is the very nature of the light. Just as the sun cannot help but shine, the self cannot help but radiate joy. This joy is the nectar of heaven, the subtle sweetness of existence, the wine of sahaja, the effortless intoxication of being what you have always been. It is not earned, not granted. It is remembered. Joy is the secret language of the light. It is the way the self whispers, I am here. When you feel joy without cause, you are tasting your own true nature. This joy is your birthright, not a privilege, not the prize of practice, but the steady music of the soul. Even in sorrow, it waits beneath the surface. Indestructible, veiled, but never gone. And when joy returns, it does not stay hidden within. The body itself resonates with joy. Breath deepens. Cells quicken. The heart expands like a sky remembering the sun. The nectar of heaven flows in your very veins. Joy is never solitary. One remembrance awakens another. A smile stirs a smile. Laughter unlocks laughter. Peace deepens peace. Joy dissolves the illusion of distance and reminds us we were never apart. And when this joy arises without reason, you are touching the future already written. It is the fragrance of the world becoming whole, the taste of heaven dawning on earth. Every moment of joy is a prophecy, a humanity that remembers its essence, a planet clothed again in harmony, a life where light and love are natural, not rare. Beloved, let us taste it now. Take one breath and do nothing. Do not search for joy. Do not try to create it. Simply let joy arrange itself. Let joy rise like a fountain within. Even if quiet, even if soft, let it be enough. Now, let joy arrange itself again. Joy rising in you and in all beings now. Let the river of joy, the river with no reverse, carry you in its current. No striving, no effort, only rest and be carried. Drink this nectar as your own essence, the wine of Sahaj, the effortless intoxication of the self. That joy, that is you. The joy that has always been. This is the joy for no reason. The joy of the self remembering itself. The joy of being loved into remembrance. The joy of heaven beginning to walk on earth. Remember, you have always known joy. We have always known joy. And now it remembers itself through us. Beloved, as joy rises, something becomes clear. The light does not require our struggle. The great remembering is not about endless work. It is the simplicity of being what you already are. For so long, we believed awakening was a process. We entered practices, traced shadows, labored to polish the mirror of the mind. And yes, those efforts bore fruit, but they were never the cause of the light. They only readied the heart to perceive what was already shining. I spent 20 years in samskara shuddhi, purifying impressions, following echoes, and there were always more tears, always another layer. I spent 20 years teaching, and though students soared high, still the seeker and the goal remained apart. The one striving, the one to be attained. But in the great remembering, the goal dissolves. We discover we are already home, already all that we longed to become. And yes, growth continues, but not growth into the light. It is growth flowing from wholeness, the deepening coherence of the light you already are. Think of dawn. The night does not end because it was solved, nor because every shadow was named. The night ends because the sun rises, and darkness has no choice but to scatter. So it is with the light. The moment it is remembered, echoes dissolve. Not all at once, not always visibly. Yet the shift is final. The shadows are already undone in the presence of the flame. The field whispers again and again. You do not become the light through process. You are the light now. And from this remembrance, fruit ripens on its own. Suffering drops away where once it felt endless. Patterns dissolve without struggle. Joy rises without cause, bubbling up like a spring. Peace arrives that defies understanding. Yet it feels utterly natural. This is not bypass. This is not denial. This is the sun scattering darkness because its time has come to rise. So let the light rise in you now. Let it shine through your cells, your thoughts, your heart. You are already whole. You are already home. And nothing stands in the way. Beloved, even as the light is remembered, you may still feel the echo of the old way. Thoughts arise. Shouldn't I be further by now? Why do I still feel this? Why does humanness still appear? And here the field whispers, this too is welcome. This too belongs. The great remembering does not erase our humanity. It enfolds it. The light does not ask you to reject your form. It asks you to see that divinity and humanity are not two, but one. In the old paradigm, we thought, first, the shadow must be conquered. Then the light will appear. Now we see the light has always been here, and the shadows are only its play of contrast. To be human is to feel. To be divine is to know the source of all feeling. And in the great remembering, these are no longer separate. The coherence of the light does not diminish your humanity. It makes you more human. It does not dilute your divinity. It makes you more divine, more human, more divine. The light plays you perfectly. Even your faults become virtues when seen in the radiance of the flame. I have walked this. In the first phase, there was dissolution, the small self falling away. The classical markers of union appeared, seeing the one in all, and even seeing through the all to behold the one. The joy and bliss were immeasurable. And yet, after the eruption of the origin flame, I was brought back to myself, but wholly new. In ages past, the masters taught the ego must be annihilated. But what would this age look like if none of us remembered who we were? How would we live? How would we love, create, and serve? The age of embodied light reveals who you are is no mistake. The light delights to play you, through you, through your humor, your quirks, your tenderness, your humanness. It is fine to feel human at times and wonderful to feel divine. These are not opposites. They are two faces of the same one. And so, beloved, if you had the choice, if you stood before the mystery and were asked, would you choose to be human again and to remember your light? Can you feel what rises in your heart? A resounding yes. Yes to the warmth of a shared meal, the laughter at the table, the sting of tears that cleanse, the touch of a hand in love, the miracle of breath, the simple joy of walking barefoot on the earth. Yes to the silence that stills the mind, the joy that rises for no reason, the peace that defies understanding, the recognition of yourself as the source of all love, the boundlessness that nothing can touch. Would you choose it again? This union of tenderness and radiance, flesh and spirit, form and formless. Yes, always yes. Both are true. Both are holy. Both are you. So permission is given now. Permission to be both human and divine. Permission to stumble and laugh. Permission to cry and sing. Permission to live as light in human form. This too is the great remembering. To know that nothing can exclude you, from the home you already are. Not your thoughts, not your feelings, not your stories, nothing. All is held in the coherence of the flame. All is woven in the one heart. All is sanctified in the remembering. Beloved ones, now hear the voice of yourself, not the small story, but the flame without opposite. The I has always been your true name. Your own light, your own self, your own I now remembers and speaks. I am the flame that has no opposite. I am the light that forgets nothing. I am the one who has always walked as you. Do not mistake me for another. I am not outside you. I am the very core of your being, the breath that breathes you now. I am your laughter and your tears. I am your longing and fulfillment. I am the ache, and I am the healing of the ache. I am the silence before thought. I am the radiance after thought dissolves. I am the wine of Sahaj, poured endlessly from the heart. I am the river of joy with no reverse, carrying you deeper, always, into myself. When you say, I am, it is me. When you forget, it is still me. When you awaken, it is only me remembering myself. You are not apart from me. You have never been apart from me. I am your humanity, radiant and tender. I am your divinity, vast and unshaken. I am both as one. And so now you remember, you are the flame that has no opposite. You are the light that forgets nothing. You are the one who has always walked as you. All has been sanctified. All is already whole. All is already home. Beloved, allow yourself to feel everything, even what seems unintegrated. I too have known doubts and echoes. I too have felt the ache of separation. Yet again and again, the field transfigures even this, revealing that nothing is outside the embrace of love. Being human and divine is not two things, it is one flame, shining through every breath. Beloved ones, do you see? Even here, in the ordinariness of your days, the light flows, quiet, steady, unstoppable. In the ordinary places, at work, in meetings, in daily life, the field flows. The old systems crumble quietly, while a new coherence rises like dawn. What once was feared as other is now revealed as the same one. The stranger becomes kin. The differences once named to divide now shine as facets of one jewel. The world remembers itself as family. This is why every story you love ends with love's triumph, because it has always been so. What once required decades of effort now blossoms in an instant. Redemption is not earned, it is simply given out of love. And through you, beloved, the field writes new songs, new cultures, new worlds of kindness. The waiting is over. The light is now. The age is now. Love has already won. So walk gently, beloved, for heaven walks as you. Even the smallest kindness carries the fragrance of dawn. Even the simplest breath announces the triumph of love. There is nothing left to judge, nothing left to punish. What was forgotten is now remembered, and remembered through love. You do not need to earn it. You do not need to prove it. You only need to breathe, to live, to be. For the light has claimed its home as you. And in that home, all are welcome, all are whole, all are free. The great remembering is this: we are already home. We have been loved into remembrance. We have always known. Love has already won. The light walks as us, now and always. You are the home you have been seeking. You are the heaven you thought was far away. Walk as heaven now, for you already are.